Now, the other day, the Senate voted 76-22 in favor of what's called the Lieberman-Kyle amendment that said it is the sense of the Senate that the United States should designate Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps as a foreign terrorist organization. Senator Clinton voted in favor of that resolution. You were absent. You didn't show up for that vote, but you say you would have voted against it. First of all, why didn't you come to the Senate and make your vote?
Well, I was in New Hampshire at the time. This is one of the problems with running for president. You can't always anticipate which votes are which. But I put out a statement at the time stating that this was a bad idea and that I would have voted against it. And here's why. We know in the past that the president has used some of the flimsiest excuses to try to move his agenda, regardless of what Congress says. We know that there was embodied in this legislation or this resolution, sense of the Senate, language that would say our Iraqi troop structures should in part be determined by our desire to deal with Iran. Now, if you know that in the past the president has taken a blank check and cashed it, we don't want to repeat that mistake.
Well, wouldn't that vote, Senator, this is what your critics are hammering away at you, wouldn't that vote be more important than campaigning in New Hampshire, given the significance of what you're describing right now?
Well, we don't always know what votes are scheduled and when. And if you're in New Hampshire, then it's hard to get back. But this wasn't a close vote. What it should have been, though, is a vote that sends a message to the American people that we're not going to keep on giving George Bush a blank check.
But on the substance, do you agree with the Bush administration, General Petraeus among others, that Iranian forces, Quds forces and others, are involved in killing Americans in Iraq?
What I agree with is that Iran has been the major beneficiary of the war in Iraq. It has been a huge strategic error. Iran is an adversary. Their pursuit of nuclear weapons poses a grave threat to us. The fact that we have strengthened them as a consequence of the war in Iraq, I think, is a huge problem that I, as the next president, am going to have to deal with. There is no doubt that they are providing support and funding to the Mahdi army and other militias in Iraq, but what we have to do is to have the kinds of coherent policy inside Iraq that begins bringing our troops out of Iraq, that initiates the kind of hard-headed diplomacy with Iran, Syria, as well as our friends Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the regional powers. And that's not what's taking place right now, and the sense of the Senate that was passed did not help in that effort.